On the phone with us right now, Donald Trump. President Obama has released his birth certificate. Are you satisfied, Mr. Trump, and does that put to rest any questions about whether he was, in fact, born in the United States?
Well, I'm very proud of the fact that I was able to get him to do something that nobody else was, and I'm really honored by it. The fact is that whether it was Clinton or whether it was all of the other people running against him, for whatever reason, he wasn't doing it, and I was able to get him to release. Now, I don't know why he didn't do it. Nobody really understands why. Obviously, they're examining the certificate very carefully, but I'm very, very proud of the fact that I was able to accomplish what nobody else could, and the fact is, it shows that I can get things done. He can't, and I can.
Do you have any idea why it took so long for him to release that long-form birth certificate?
Nobody understands it. Nobody knows why. He went through hell over it. What is going on? Nobody understands why he didn't do this years ago.
You mentioned Obama's failure to release college records. He promised to be the most transparent president in history. Do you think he's lived up to that?
Well, he's certainly not a transparent president because everybody thought that he was going to be releasing his college records. And frankly, when he went to Occidental University, when he went to Occidental College, he was not a good student. In fact, he was sort of the opposite of a good student. And how does a person that's not a good student then get into Columbia and get into Harvard and, to the best of my knowledge, on scholarship? So how does he get into Harvard and Columbia and you're not a good student? It's a very strange president that we have.
All right, you said you want to focus on gasoline prices. Obama said today we should be focused on gas prices. How would President Trump handle this differently?
Well, the first thing I'd do is get called right into OPEC, and I'd say, you fellas get over to my office right now, because OPEC is ripping us like nobody has ripped us before. Saudi Arabia 3 days ago decided to raise the price of fuel by cutting down on supply, and they look at us like we're a bunch of jerks. I'll tell you, they look at us and they look at our leaders like they're not very smart, and I'm being very nice in the use of terms, but obviously the leaders aren't very smart. OPEC is ripping us off like nobody has ever done before, and I know that 2 days ago the president said he has very little control over oil prices, and I disagree, because OPEC, he should be able to totally control it. They wouldn't even exist if it weren't for us.
What about his moratorium on drilling? Is that contributing to the sky-high price of gasoline?
His moratorium on drilling is a total disaster. How this guy can have people not being able to travel, not being able to fill up their tanks with gasoline, and he's got a moratorium in drilling, and we should drill in Alaska, and we should drill all over until we don't need foreign oil, and we should use natural gas, and we should use clean coal, and every other. We have a clean coal technology that's getting very good. We should use everything in our power.
Do you think the price of gasoline and food, if they continue to go up, might be a defining issue in the presidential campaign?
Well, I think if food and gasoline and clothing, people don't realize the worst of all is what's happened to cotton. And part of that is because the dollar is so weak. He's allowed the dollar to fail. And because the dollar is so weak, he likes it because short term, it's a little bit good for the country in terms of trade, but long term, it's a disaster. He's allowed the dollar to go so low and become so weak that it is becoming a laughingstock just like him.
You're in New Hampshire today. Can you tell us what your agenda is there in this state? And do you think you could win that state in a primary?
Well, I've done very well in the polls. As you know, Romney sort of semi-lives here. I don't know why he lives here, because he's not here very much. But he's got a place here. Maybe he lives here because of the fact he knows he's going to be running. But the fact is that I'm number 2 and very close in the polls, and I think that all of the other polls, the major polls, I'm number 1. But I have a great relationship with the people of New Hampshire. I've really bonded with them over the years, but in particular now, and it really is a place that's amazing.
You told a news conference in New Hampshire that the press has been very protective of Obama. Do you think there's a double standard in the way they question him versus, say, the way they question you?
Oh, absolutely. The press has been so protective of Obama, it's a joke. I mean, it's a laughing joke. I've never seen anything like it. I've never seen anything like it. You say anything negative about Obama and they start screaming at you. It's absolutely incredible how the press uses just these beautiful, soft, lily gloves on Obama.
Newsmax has done an online poll. More than 1 million people voted in the poll. You're crushing your Republican opponents. Are you happy with this result, and will this play a role in your final decision?
Well, I'm honored by Newsmax. It's a great organization. They have a tremendous following, and I follow them also. And when I saw the poll result, I was really happy because Newsmax, it represents a lot to a lot of people, including me.
Donald Trump, as always, thanks so much. We appreciate it, sir.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for watching Newsmax TV.